Imagine pulling off the biggest heist in history and getting away with it forever. How did these criminals outsmart the law and vanish without a trace? The world of heists is filled with tales of audacity, cleverness, and criminal brilliance. These robberies aren't just about stealing large amounts of money or valuable items. They involve meticulous planning, daring execution, and, in many cases, escaping without a trace. Some of the most notorious heists in history have gone down in the annals of criminal lore, and in many cases, the criminals behind them still remain unidentified, leaving behind a legacy of mystery and intrigue. From the infamous Great Train Robbery to the audacious Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist and the world's largest diamond theft, these criminal masterminds have left their mark in ways that seem almost unbelievable. But how did they manage to pull off such extraordinary feats? And what does it take to get away with one of the greatest crimes in history? The Great Train Robbery, 1963. One of the most famous heists in history is the Great Train Robbery, which took place in England in 1963. This robbery, which is still remembered today, involved a meticulously planned attack on a Royal Mail train traveling from Glasgow to London. The robbers had inside knowledge of the train's schedule and its cargo, which included millions of pounds in cash. The gang behind the heist was a mix of skilled criminals, but what truly sets this robbery apart was the careful planning and execution. The thieves managed to stop the train in the middle of a remote stretch of track by tampering with signals, causing the train driver to stop. Once the train had been halted, the robbers quickly moved in, overpowering the crew and forcing them to unlock the freight cars where the cash was stored. The operation was so precise that the criminals were in and out in less than 30 minutes. The audacity of the plan and the ease with which the robbers pulled it off made this robbery legendary. However, despite the precision and speed of the heist, the criminals didn't get away scot-free. The police were quick to investigate, and after a massive manhunt, many members of the gang were eventually captured. Still, the thieves managed to get away with a substantial sum, and the entire operation was meticulously orchestrated in such a way that many of the robbers got away with their loot for a while. What made the Great Train Robbery so remarkable was not just the execution, but also the fact that the criminals used an ingenious tactic to cover their tracks. Literally. After the heist, the thieves moved the money to a remote hideout and distributed it across different locations, making it extremely difficult for the authorities to trace. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist, 1990. One of the most mind-boggling heists in history is the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum theft that took place in 1990 in Boston, Massachusetts. Two men dressed as police officers managed to gain access to the museum during the night, posing as law enforcement investigating a disturbance. Once inside, they handcuffed the guards, tied them up, and proceeded to steal 13 pieces of artwork valued at around $500 million. The stolen works included masterpieces by Vermeer, Rembrandt, and Degas, among others. The thieves removed the paintings from their frames and made their getaway without raising any alarms. The audacity of the crime, committing such a high-profile heist and escaping without leaving behind any solid leads, has made this one of the most famous unsolved crimes in history. What makes this heist so incredible is that despite the FBI's years of investigation, no one has ever been arrested or even conclusively identified as the mastermind behind the robbery. The stolen works remain missing to this day, making it one of the greatest art heists in history. Even more astonishing is the fact that the museum, to this day, refuses to pay any ransom or offer rewards for the return of the stolen pieces, further adding to the intrigue of the crime. There are numerous theories about who might have pulled off the heist, ranging from mafia connections to international art thieves, but no one knows for certain. The Great Antwerp Diamond Heist, 2003. The Antwerp Diamond Heist is one of the largest and most daring heists in modern history. It took place in 2003 in Antwerp, Belgium, at the Antwerp Diamond Center, one of the world's most secure diamond vaults. The thieves were able to pull off the heist in broad daylight, managing to bypass the state-of-the-art security systems, including alarms, motion detectors, and a 10-ton vault door. The criminals involved in the heist were highly skilled, and their preparation was meticulous. They had been planning the robbery for over 2 years, studying the Diamond Center's security systems and routines. In the end, they managed to gain access to the vault by bypassing the vault's high-tech security features and opening it using a combination of tools and knowledge of the vault's intricate systems. The thieves managed to steal an estimated $100 million worth of diamonds, gold, and other valuables. The robbery was executed so flawlessly that it wasn't discovered until the following day, when the security staff arrived to find the vault completely emptied. Incredibly, despite the scale of the crime and the large amount of evidence that was left behind, the robbers managed to escape without being caught. Some of the criminals involved were eventually apprehended, but the diamonds themselves were never fully recovered. The Antwerp Diamond Heist remains one of the most remarkable heists in history due to the scope of the crime and the daring nature of the criminals involved. The Banko Central Burglary, 2005. The Banko Central Burglary, which occurred in Brazil in 2005, is often referred to as the perfect crime because of how the robbers were able to pull it off with such sophistication. A group of criminals spent months planning their heist, renting a house near the bank and constructing an elaborate tunnel system to reach the vault. Over the course of several weeks, they dug a tunnel from the rented house to the bank's vault, all while avoiding detection. On the night of the robbery, the criminals made their move, using the tunnel to gain access to the bank's vault. They stole over $70 million in cash, and the entire operation was so seamless that no one even noticed the robbery until the following morning. The tunnel was so well hidden that even the bank's security staff had no idea it was there. Despite the enormity of the theft, the robbers managed to get away without leaving behind any clues that could immediately lead to their capture. However, after an extensive investigation, several members of the criminal group were eventually caught, though much of the stolen money was never recovered. What makes this heist so extraordinary is the sheer audacity and planning required to execute it. The criminals not only had to dig a tunnel under a heavily secured building, but also ensure that no one would notice their movements, making this robbery one of the most meticulously planned and executed crimes in history. The key to success of these incredible heists lies in the meticulous planning, brilliant execution, and ability to stay one step ahead of law enforcement. The criminals behind these robberies were not only skilled, but incredibly patient, taking years in some cases to prepare for the perfect opportunity. Many of them used advanced techniques, insider knowledge, and an uncanny ability to blend in, allowing them to bypass some of the most sophisticated security systems ever created. Some of these robberies still remain unsolved, leaving us to wonder, could the masterminds still be out there? Let us know which heist amazed you the most in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unbelievable true crime stories.